Any golfer will tell you that the grand game is a mental one, and Greg Steinberg is a PhD and associate professor of sports psychology at Austin Peay University. Go Governors, and he is the author of Mental Rules of Golf and joins us now in the studio. Welcome to Headline News.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, hey, we love having you here. You did exhaustive research for this book, and one of the topics in your book, very interesting, talks about Annika's 54 vision. Tell us about that.
Well, that means that Annika believes every hole is birdieable. Okay. And if you birdie every hole, that's 18 under on a par 72, that'd be 54, right? The score 54. Well, if every hole is birdieable, that means when she's 6 or 7 under par, she's comfortable and she's in her comfort zone. And the problem is a lot of people, when they're under par, like 8, 9 under, they get out of their comfort zone and they get nervous. They have a couple blow-up holes and they ruin their score. But Annika can go low because she believes every hole is birdieable. And that's probably one of the main reasons why she's the only woman on the LPGA to shoot 59.
What makes Sorenstam the woman to do this as opposed to somebody else? I guess because of this attitude, right?
Well, if you could describe Annika's mental game in one statement, it is the best or never satisfied. And she's one of the best of all time. And she's never satisfied with her game. And she believes that by going on the PGA Tour, she's going to take her game up to the next level.
Well, that attitude certainly has helped withstand all the criticism that she's had, and then now all the media attention that she has now that she's actually in Fort Worth.
Yeah, the other part of her mental game is she focuses on what she can control, and she doesn't worry about what she cannot control. She can't worry about what the media says about her, what the other players on the PGA are saying about her. She can only focus on her own game, and when she does that, it lessens the pressure.
Okay, but getting back to what you talked about before, she's comfortable when she's 6, 7, 8 under. What happens when she's 5, 6, 7 over, as some think she may be at some point this week?
Sure. Well, the great players stay in the moment. They don't worry about their score. You know, she's going to focus on one shot at a time, and she's not going to worry about making the cut. Her only focus is one shot at a time.
Okay. And so how do you think she's going to do this week, in your opinion? And we're just asking you. We're just curious.
Sure. Well, Annika is one of my favorite players. She has great physical skills, great mental skills. I believe she's going to make the cut. Okay.
And in the top 20, the way Phil Mickelson said, is that a possibility?
Well, like you're mentioning, Phil said, you know, that she's going to finish 20th as long as he finishes 19th.
Right.
I think if she's on her game, she could finish in the top 20.
Okay, okay. Well, great talking to you. Thanks again.
Thanks so much for having me on the show.
Okay, Greg Steinberg, Dr. Greg Steinberg, author of Mental Rules of Golf.
Now, if you could talk to her, what advice would you give Annika if she were to try this again?
Well, you know, the main reason why she did this is to raise her game, you know, to test her skills. She took a big risk, and I think she did wonderful. The one thing that I would tell her is she said she was so nervous the entire time. And I think what she needs to do is maybe focus on reducing those nerves, you know, maybe practicing her relaxation skills and really being able to train her body to combat the nerves she faced.
Or practice her putting.
Well, you know, if you're calm and relaxed, you're going to putt better. And I think the nerves got
that's what they tell me. It doesn't work for me, and I'm not playing in tournaments. In this, do you think if she were to play again, that she would in fact be able to do better now that this is out of the way?
Oh yeah, you know, on Thursday it showed she beat 27 of the greatest golfers in the world. She beat Sergio Garcia, she beat
Tom Lehman,
Appleby, Tom Lehman, British Open champ, and it showed that on any given day she can compete with the men. So I think if she plays again, her nerves will subside, and I think she'll actually make the cut.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll see. We don't know exactly what she's going to do. She says she's had enough, and we'll see how it plays out. Dr. Greg Steinberg, thank you.
Now, start with you. How about your philosophy? We have Dr. Gio Valiente on here quite a bit to help us with the mental game. I know you have thoughts as well. What does everybody need to think about on the golf course to improve the game?
Yeah, Gio's great. My philosophy is this. We always hear this thing about mental toughness. It's really about emotional toughness. Your emotions control your performance. The good news is your thinking controls your emotions. And if you have the right thoughts, you're going to have the right emotions. And if you have the right emotions, you're going to play your best. So that's what really emotional toughness is about. It's having the right thoughts to breed the right emotion.
With home remedies for the mind, why the can? You mentioned it earlier.
Well, I do a lot of seminars to young golfers, and I always wanted to think, how can I explain what I do as a sports psychologist? And I came up with this visual. Pretend the young golfer is this can. There's all these pressures working on the golfer. You got to do well for your friends, for yourself, for your family. The competition's tough. And if that young golfer has none of the right mental ingredients, then what they do is they choke or they get crushed under the pressure. And what I do as a sports psychologist is I fill you up with all the right mental ingredients, because those pressures are always there. You always want to do well for your friends, for your family. The competition's tough. And if you have the right mental ingredients, then you can stand tall under the pressure. And the other reason why I like to do that at a talk is because then I can drink my soda.